Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, we are very sorry for coming to you late tonight. We all understand the challenges we have with technology, but now we're able to sort up and then we're able to get back online. It is my Lucy Connections. It comes to you every Sunday at 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock for us in Liberia, and for those in the United States and Canada, it's 3 o'clock p.m. to 4 p.m. But because we were late, so we started at 8:20, meaning we will be ending at 9:20. So you are most welcome to join us in this conversation. To begin with, I will now turn over to my US studio where my brother and friend Willie Kobo is sitting, and he's going to take the lead on this conversation with Mr. Josiah F. Joekai tonight. Willie, it's
Thank you
over to
very
you.
much. Thank you. That was a great intro. First of all, I want to start this way and say, Brother Lewali, how are you today?
Well, I'm good. As I said, today was Sunday. I went to church and I had a little bit of relaxations. And after that, I have to get to my business in order to get this talk show with Mr. Joker tonight prepared. So I'm so glad. I'm good.
Wonderful, wonderful. I also share the same. I am excited. Today is our first day. Um, it's technology, things happens. So but I'm just excited that we can we can we can just start this all important project that, like I said on Wednesday, that we were at the airport checking in, but now we've boarded and we are flying. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are right. You are right, Willie. But gradually, as we move along, we get better.
It's gonna get
As I
better. Yeah.
said, it's definitely going to get better. This is a very worthy initiative. So
Yep.
we want to quickly go into the intro of Mr. Josiah Joker. And
Absolutely. And first of all, before going to the intro of Mr. Joker, first of all, I want to say, Mr. Josiah Joker, I want to welcome you to the My Lutheran Connection podcast. This is our premiere podcast, and discussing the topic today, the importance of information technology in our church. We couldn't have anyone other someone better to do it other than you, with your background when it comes to technology in the church. So we wouldn't have had anyone better than you. But before you can come in with your intro, I just want to say this to you, that to ask you this question: how are you and the family doing? The entire Jokai family. We want to say our sympathy, and how are you guys doing?
Well, Willie and Abel, thank you so much. I'm so excited. The fact that I am your inaugural guest for this important program you've initiated in the church. This is very important. I think it's quintessential, to the growth of the church. And having me on today to discuss an important topic, information technology, and its importance to the Lutheran Church in Liberia, I think it's a good way to start. So I'm glad to board the first flight with you. I also like to say thanks to both of you for your support, the kind words, the comfort during the homegoing of our late dad, Mr. Jokai. You did extremely well. You stood by us. I know, Abel, you were there in Banga for the removal. I know I was in touch with people like Willie, who constantly, texted us and communicated with us during the course of our bereavement. So it's really good to be here. And thank you once again for all the support.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to go to our co-host in Liberia, the Mr. Lewali, Abel Lewali. He's going to kick off the questioning aspect, and then he's going to, start the conversation from there, and then we're going to continue with the conversation. But before Mr. Lewali can come in, I just want to inform the viewing and listening public that we are going live on several other platforms, including Facebook. You can join us on Facebook. You can join us on LYF Senior Friends. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel. That is My Lutheran Connections. And also, we are being carried live on our online radio program with our partners in Baltimore, the Voice of the Diaspora online radio. So again, we want to say welcome, Brother Jokai, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe, you are most welcome. As we said today, you will be speaking on the topics, the importance of information technology, and what does the SES stands to benefit from this vibrant opportunity that is afforded to us. So without wasting any time, Joe, we just want to get over to you. And then maybe somewhere in between, you can also use that time to talk about the issue of the router FM that actually did not materialize. What lessons can we Lutherans also learn from that? And how can we kind of readjust ourselves in moving forward? So Joe, it's over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Once again, I'm very pleased as a Lutheran to have a conversation about our church. This is quite important. Um, when you talk about information technology and its importance to the growth and development of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, we have to first look at information technology, what it is. Although Willie, in his intro, mentioned that I was chosen to be your inaugural guest to talk about this important subject. Because of my background, I just wanted to provide a little bit of clarity. I will speak with respect to the subject, with emphasis on its importance to the Lutheran Church in Liberia. But scientifically, we will look at some other folks in the LCL with the background in information technology, me profoundly, who can come and speak to it, um, uh, with with a great deal of information that they can provide. But let me say that I also did digital marketing and social media and analytics at the Columbia University. I did an advanced certificate here in New York. So I will be able to speak to this subject to a considerable extent. Currently, I'm doing my PhD in industrial and organizational psychology from the Adler University. Adler University is one of America's renowned institutions credited for psychology. So I'm pleased to be a part of that institution and working on my terminal degree in that respect. Prior to that, I obtained a bachelor's degree in political science in Liberia from the University of Liberia, and also a master's degree in peace studies and conflict transformation. So I've worked with the Elections Commission. You all know that, the Ministry of Education, and then the Liberian National Commission before coming over to the United States. Currently, I work for the DMT Solutions Global Corporation. It's called Blue Crest. It's a global company that deals in parts and services in Europe, in Australia, and in North America. Specifically, I am responsible for Canada, North America, and parts of Europe because I'm bilingual. So I'm really pleased to be on the show tonight to share with you my understanding of information technology and its importance to the Lutheran Church in Liberia. Information technology basically refers to applications of computers and telecommunications that store, retrieve, manipulate data, and transmit information. So that's a lot, when we say application of computers and talk about telecommunications. So to break that down a little bit, for information technology to happen, to be possible, there are two basic things you need. You need a combination of hardware and software. So the hardware consists of the computer and its accessories. So you need something like the computer itself, the processing unit, which is like the human brain, that processes, that receive, processes, and send the information. And then you need a monitor, the screen, for you to be able to see everything that is being punched in, that's being stored, that is being manipulated in terms of view, review, and analyzed. And then you need the mouse to help you to navigate. So basically, that constitute the hardware, and then you need the software, the applications that allow you, to punch in the information, to keep the information, to store the information, and to be able to to process the information and send the information, transmit it to any location, any destination you want to transmit it to. So basically, that's what information technology consists of. The other aspect of information technology has to do with telecommunications. That brings in the use of electromagnetic systems, talking about radio stations, talking about telephones, telegraph, and all of those systems that allow you to communicate, over the wires communication as well. They all constitute information technology. So it's a combination of both the application of computers and telecommunications to communicate that constitute information technology. So in the pre-modern era, you actually have people communicating, doing distance communication by use of audio messages. The long blown horns at that time, the whistles, whistling, those were means by which they communicated. So technological advancement really started setting in the 20th and 21st centuries. That's when you saw the advancement in communication, which brought about this whole set of information technology. So now you have the telephone system. You're not using the analog anymore. So you're not using memographing anymore. You have the radio stations. You have television through which you are able to communicate. Those are all technologies, and that's the beauty of information technology, because it is a primary factor responsible for globalization. If somebody wants to consider the benefit of IT, in one word, you would just say globalization, because information technology fuels that. So that's how important information technology is. The other thing that we can talk about is social media and social networking. So social media basically is a web-based and mobile technologies, and it is through social networking by way of social media. So you see the integration and the relationship. It is through social media that you have social networking, where people are able to build their presence. They are able to build brands, to sell themselves, to market themselves, where businesses are able to establish themselves and have a global presence, in a way that their businesses grow and develop. There is enhanced productivity. There is increased output. So social networking brings individuals and corporations and businesses together and help them to grow significantly. So that is very important, and that is why you can grow your business right in your palms, using your smartphone, using your iPads, your computers, and you don't have to, like, you want to submit, for example, produce a data. Let's say produce a data that is about 1,000 lines on a spreadsheet. You don't have to print everything and put, build a parcel, do a package to ship it. Sometimes the security of the shipment is not even assured. Just instantly by a click, you are able to send that report to somebody from Liberia, like in the case of Abel, to the United States, or even Willie in Atlanta, Georgia, to somebody in Australia or Europe. That's the extent to which information technology has impacted the world. So it is so important. It is critical.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Joekai. For me, frequently I usually refer to you and the rest of the other senior friends as senior brother or senior sister. But for the purpose of this program, I'm going to refer to you, I'm going to break tradition and call you by your last name today, Mr. Joekai. I want to say thank you very much for laying the premise. So with the information that you've provided, so I have this question. Okay, and Why should the church embrace digital technology as part of our worship service today? Why?
Okay, so you just use a key word. You said digital technology. Again, that's another key jargon in the whole field of information technology. So I will talk about digital a little bit. Um, you know, digital has several meanings depending on what you want to talk about. You talk about digital with respect to numbers, that's a different thing. You are in a different quadrant. So if you want to talk about digital with respect to processes and services, that's a different thing altogether. So in this case, we're talking about digital in terms of processes and services. So there are two key words that will be used interchangeably. The first one is digitization. Digitization. So digitization basically is the process of converting data, you know, um, into electronic, means by which you can use them appropriately, easily, with ease. So you have the other word, digitalization. That is Lizatron. That is using technology to conduct your processes as an individual or as a business. So many businesses do what you refer to as digitalization. So when you are operating, for example, most organizations in third worlds have the analog, where they're using papers, to produce information, to produce report. Many of them have not gone paperless yet. So that's an analog. Using white balls, black balls, that's analog. So some of them will decide to go digital. When they decide to go digital, then that's when you use digitization without the L, digitization. So digitization will be the process by which they will convert those existing documents, into digital documents. So those documents will be converted to electronic versions. So that's digitization. So digitalization is where the institution decides to use technology to conduct its businesses. Now, the Lutheran Church in Liberia, we all know, I know we've existed for long, is something that we take pride in, that since 1860, we were established as a church in Liberia. We've contributed to the health, education needs of the country. We've developed, people in the country who are contributing to the workforce of the country, the manpower development of the country. But times have changed significantly. We are now in the digital revolution. In the 21st century is an information technology we are living in now. That's the world we live in now. But sadly, it's my church, and I'm very proud to be a Lutheran. But the sad fight is that the Lutheran Church is still living like some 75 to 100 years back. They are basically very far away from the digital revolution, and it's sad that they exist in this world. We exist in this world as a church, but we are still distanced from the reality of today as far as information technology is concerned. And I say that to say that you have a church in this time and age that doesn't have a website. The Lutheran Church in Liberia is not just one ordinary non-for-profit or community-based organization. It's a renowned institution that is referenced in Liberia existence, the body politics, the history of the country, and as far as where it is. So it is sad that we still don't have a website. We don't even have a social media presence. I'm not sure the church has a formal Twitter account or a Facebook account, not a blog. I don't even think the church has a blog that we can refer to, at least to mention macro blogs created by some of the different programs of the church, like the trauma healing program, the pension scheme, and different projects of the church. Abel worked with the church before, worked on some of those projects before. He can prove me wrong if I'm saying something contrary to the reality. But I don't know, because I have a strong social media presence, and I have a network with a lot of colleagues and organizations and institutions, both secular and religious. Even I'm friends with you guys, so I don't see any presence of the church. So the church has to start at fresh. If you ask me, I would say the church has to start at fresh, to begin to enjoy the benefits of information technology, social media, and social networking.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Joekai. Before Mr. Lewali can come in, I just have a follow-up question to that. We're gonna go down to the LCL, okay? But right now I'm looking at the church as a whole. So someone will say I'm traditional, okay? Someone will say I'm traditional. So now the next question that will come to mind is that how can the church focus its energy, to help continue a biblical worldview, okay, of its members in attendance in this age of digital technology? Because someone will say, "Oh, I'm traditional. I want to be in the building," but again, Jesus said in the book of Matthew that wheresoever 2 or 3 are gathered, I am there. And we saw in the year of 2020 a lot of mega churches and and other congregations, they had to go the form of digital technology. They had to incorporate that into their service. Okay. So that is my question. What would be the response to someone who would say, I'm traditional, and how, if the church is going, is adding digital technology, and sometimes, in fact, we heard another word was added to it, saying that digital evangelism. How can the church, help to spread this biblical worldview, to encourage its member? I mean, even though they are going digital, but it's attendance.
Yeah,
Well,
just before Joe come in with that question, I quickly want to announce our number in Liberia. Those of you monitoring us in Monrovia, Banga, Lofa, Nimba, as far as Maryland, Grand Crew, and you want to participate on this talk show and you want to place a call in, you are most welcome. You can call us on the number 0886 576 and 0776 579187. Once again, 0886 576 and 0776 579187. You can place your call, and Mr. Joker will be willing to adequately respond. Joe, we get back to you with the question that Willie just asked.
absolutely, as a Lutheran, I always like to reference Jesus's mission using 3 words: preaching, healing, and teaching. And that's what Jesus reminded us to do. And it was on the basis of those 3 words that the Lutheran Church structure itself the way it is. It has a healing ministry, it has a teaching ministry, and it has a preaching ministry, evangelism. And that's what we say we believe in, going out, and winning souls for Christ. That's what we believe in. We are followers of Christ, So if that's what we are supposed to do, and there is this golden opportunity that can make me to sit right where I'm sitting and talking to you guys. I'm sitting right here and talking to Abel in Liberia, and I'm in Connecticut, in Danbury, Western Connecticut, just 1 hour drive away from the Bronx in New York, where I used to live before. And I'm talking to you from here, Willie. I can sit right here and then speak with the bishop in his office on 13th Street. I can speak with the director. And I can stay right here and speak with the pastor in Zozo. When my dad passed, I didn't have to fly from here to go see Pastor Flomo in Zozo to ask him to preach my father's funeral discourse. No, I stayed right here and just took my cell phone, and just and just texted him the information, what I wanted to put across. So the question I would ask rhetorically is, how good would be your tradition if your tradition forbids you or prevents you from winning souls for Christ? Then you're not realizing Christ's mission, sadly. And then you should stop calling yourself a follower of Christ, or you should stop calling yourself a Lutheran.
Yeah.
Because that's what even Luther, our father, based his stance on when he published his thesis. Is by faith. Just by those two words, by faith and the scriptures, faith and the scriptures. Just those two words, faith and scriptures. That's all. And the scripture says everything. And we need to have that faith. But how do you transmit the information about the scripture and the faith? Right. Information technology is here. Social media and networking is here to help you facilitate that process. The bishop does not have, it's cost saving. The bishop does not have to pay a lot of money to buy fuel to get in his vehicle, to go to Bokonji there, to go and talk to Lutherans there. The bishop needs to sit right in his office and speak to the people in Bokonji there. Right. The bishop can use a Lutheran radio station, something that we thought we dream of, to establish, to communicate, can simulcast, because you can do your radio station and you can simulcast. All the local radio stations we carry for the people who don't even have access to smartphones, who don't have access to computers and iPads, devices that can help you interact. Those who don't have it, they can use the radio station. The bishop can stay right. He can preach from his office, from 13th Street. He doesn't even have to walk to go to 14th Street to St. Peter's. He doesn't have to drive to go to St. Matthew's. The bishop can preach from his office, and they can be cast in all of the parishes across the country. If he wants to do that simultaneously, it's possible. That's just the extent to which information technology, social media, social networking is so significant to evangelism. One of the missions that Jesus is holding us to. We have to evangelize. Through that, we are able to win souls for him. We have to preach. The pastors in their parishes can preach, even if they don't want.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not stopping you, Joe.
Yes, Abel, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. You are striking. Yeah, you are striking so much important points, but then I don't want to miss this part very quickly. You are saying something that is so real in our world today, where technology is becoming so vibrant. You are sitting in Denver, he's in Atlanta, Georgia, and look, we are like sitting, we are in the same room, keeping this kind of a conversation. But then my question to you, Joe, quickly to interrupt, what is it that our church, the Lutheran Church in Liberia, is relating, taking advantage of this kind of a vibrant opportunities to the extent that information flourishing in Monrovia cannot even reach to Bonjaman on time, now to Dubo in Grand Cru. And we are still saying we have problem with communication. People don't hardly get communication with all of these gadgets, information gadgets that we got all around us. What do you think is the problem for that? What causing all of this?
I will respond to that question beginning with a joke. Let's say the three of us, you, me, and Willie, find ourselves beside a pool, a nice pool, so beautiful, so attracting, and Abel, you and I are swimming, and Willie is standing right there telling us about his history of swimming, how well he can swim. He swims very well. In fact, he has taken part in regional swimming competitions. He has won some. Meanwhile, Abel, you and I are in the pool. We are swimming. But Willie is not in the pool. And he is talking about swimming. That's the kind of situation. The opportunity is available, is readily available to the LCL. The problem that we have is the leadership and innovation to take advantage of the existing opportunity is the problem. And when I say leadership, it's not just about an individual, but it's about the failure of the collectivity of the leadership to innovate, to take advantage of these opportunities that information technology provides, that social networking provides. The other thing is the infrastructure. If you don't put the infrastructure in place, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And probably, I know your next question would be, doesn't the Lutheran Church in Liberia, have the infrastructure? The Lutheran Church in Liberia is
okay, Joe, interruption. There's a call. Joe, there's a call. So, Henry, you are most welcome. Welcome to the show.
Josiah F. And I just want to express my thanks and appreciation to you for the effort, for the level you go with this platform to have a communication with each other. It is so welcoming. And we will work together with the central office, the research in Liberia, to monitor this platform, to connect it to a lot of things so our message can really go out. I think we try to set up a communication department of the research in Liberia, and we embrace this platform to be part of what we want to do. And I hope you guys are dreamers will be willing to work with us. We are available to make sure that our church can communicate in a very vibrant way to our people. That's why I get us to call and thank you for the elaboration. Thank you. Your message is well noted, and I know we can work together. Even the organization that had a problem, we cannot invest on it, but we can go back to work to really put plans to be able to see how we can get this organization work for us in the Lutheran Church in Liberia. Thank you, Josiah, and thank you to the team. I'm very glad to listen to you through this video. Thank you again.
Thank you, Heron. Thank you so much. We get back to you, Joe.
Yeah, I just like to say thanks to Heron, the fact that he's following and he was able to share with us what the church is contemplating with respect to establishing a communication department. It is interesting to note that since 1860 now, we're just talking about trying to establish a communication department, as a church organization. That's very interesting. I wouldn't say it's belated. It's a welcoming news. But I would say the church should allow you to continue with this project for now and not even consider discussing any collaboration issue at this point until she can significantly establish, the communication department that she is contemplating at this point. But the point I was trying to raise about why the LCL is lagging behind when it comes to making use of information technology appropriately, effectively, especially so with regards to making use of social media, social networking, to be able to evangelize, to be able to spread the gospel, to be able to win souls massively for Christ. I was making reference to the behavior of the leaderships that we've had. It's not just the current leadership. Even past leaderships have never prioritized an easy way of getting to the people, reaching the people, making the people a part of the church, the decision-making processes, because that should be the focus of the church. The interests of the people, matters a whole lot. Making the people to have a sense of belonging. As Lutherans, they need to feel it. They need to be a part of what's happening in Christ's church. And one of the means by which that can happen is by having a strong social media presence. The church does not even have, how do you're talking about lack of support to the church. You can innovate. You can't even have a website. No website. You don't even have a website that publicizes the bishop information weekly. The bishop needs to have weekly information out there. You don't even have a project a section on such website. It doesn't exist. How you do projects in the church, nobody knows. Even people who want to help, no way. You don't have a support dimension on such website. And when it exists, you have so much to benefit from. And then you can, build on that and have other social media presences, like you build a formal Facebook page, you build a formal Twitter page, and you are good. People know what you are doing. People will subscribe, and people will join the conversations that you will initiate with regards to serving Christ, with regards to following Christ, with regards to winning people for Christ. So the church does not have the requisite infrastructure at this point. The leadership has not demonstrated any will and any interest in doing that. So it's not just possible for that to happen. For that to happen, you need the leadership to take the initiative.
Thank you so much, Joe. At this point, I would like us to just take 1 minute break, and then we come right back and re-announce our numbers again to see how many persons will be able to put in. I know there are still a couple of questions lined up on our platform along with Willie. So we take a 1 minute break, and then welcome back, folks. Those of you following us, we have the number 0886-576-076, 0776-579187, 0886-576-076, 0776-579187. You can place in your call and ask Mr. Josiah F, Joekai, who is our inaugural guest tonight for this vibrant platform. Joe, moving forward, I have questions. And I want to quickly drive us to the issue of the proposed Joekai FM and television station. This has been the most talked about issues in recent time in the Lutheran Church in Liberia. There are so much speculations around the corner, and people are adapting, and what went wrong. People are still confused as to what went wrong. After we have built up all of the momentum, did all of the sell-off and all of the work, and we've been wrecking back and forward. But I personally think there's a very good opportunity tonight for you to maybe use a few minutes of your time to explain to the Lutheran public up there what really happened about this issue of Joekai FM stations, and how can we put this behind us and move forward. Let me answer this call. Hello? Hello? Yes, you are welcome. There's the Joekai FM station. Okay.
While Brother Lewali is attending to that caller, because we're going to bring the person in. I just want to add to this, because I know you mentioned you spoke about it a little bit, the Joekai FM. What happened? That would be the question. And I know this is the question that is on the mind of so many Liberian Lutherans, because you were one of those.
Yeah, yes. There's a call. There's a call up here.
Yeah. You were one of those who headed that project. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Stanley.
Specifically, do you have a caller?
Philip Akil calling from Singapore County. Following.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Philip.
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much for this welcoming initiative. I think this is what we are to run with, and I want to appreciate the team. And I ask every Lutheran and every other person to join this process to making it more effective, more useful for us. For me, as a background, a person from the background of information technology, we Lutheran are far late about this, but we can make it. We can make it from this point forward, especially with the opportunity that you have. Technical person, that Brother Gabriel, Brother Kowe, Brother Joekai. I think this is a welcoming initiative. So, but what I think is that this platform can now help to join the central office to put the pieces together, those broken pieces together. You remember the whole book of our Lord Joel is that we need to now pick up the broken pieces and put them back together for it to work for us. So I'm asking.
Okay, so Brother Joekai, why Brother Philip is, I believe there's some connection issue, maybe due to weather back home. What happened? That is the question. What happened?
Great. This is a great question. And, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to sharpen some of the contradictions, to provide clarifications for our people. I think that's a respectful move. They will really appreciate that, compared to not hearing, not getting feedback about the Luda FM project. Firstly, I was appointed as chairperson, of that project, and along with other members, I had two pastors on the committee, Pastor McKay, J. Louis McKay, Pastor Orita Mela Davis. I had Abel Yaweli, Samia Zapla, Neswa Livingstone, all on that committee. And we came up with a concept that the leadership of the church approved. We transformed it into an acceptable proposal, outlining the way we'll go about the implementation of the project, with dates and everything, in terms of milestones, what will be achieved at what time, and how they all will be achieved. We discussed everything in that document, and it was accepted. We went ahead and organized fundraising programs. We organized the first one, in fact, the lunch at the St. Peter's Lutheran Church. It was well attended. We got Lutherans contributing from the different parishes, Lutherans playing major role in the political life of the country. Also in civil society, they all came out. In their private life, they all came out and contributed. And I think we raised up to 130,000 plus Liberian dollar. I don't have the numbers here handy, but that's what I remember, Liberian dollars, plus 2,000, a little over 2,000 United States dollars. Immediately an account was open at the district office, the Monrovia district office, because Pastor Davis, Orita Miller Davis, was the dean at the time, and through that account, we had the Luda FM account, the district's account. So the money was deposited into that account, even though I was chairman of the committee, but I declined to be a signatory to the account. That has always been my policy, and I think it's an acceptable financial policy. Also, a sound policy. So I was not a signatory to the account. What I did was to have the pastor and another person from the committee, and then the person managing the district account responsible. And so we were able to get the technician. We succeeded in getting the technician to do the analysis of the cost of the project. And we also brought a technician to see the site that was provided by the St. Peter's Lutheran Parish, the Cathedral of the Lutheran Church, right behind the church that was provided by the church where the radio station was supposed to be established. The new building, the multi-purpose building built by the church, one of the rooms on the ground floor was designated for the radio station. And right behind that room, we were ready to erect the tower hosting the transmitter of the station. On a Sunday, in my capacity as chairman, I announced the start of the radio station on Sunday in the church. I announced the start of the construction of the tower on Wednesday. And my colleagues went to the different parishes. Abel Leowelli went to a different parish to do the same announcement. We did it simultaneously. All the committee members spread out, and we informed our fellow Lutherans about the start of the Luther FM project. On that Wednesday following, the technician came with all of the equipment to get the tower started. By then, it was Peter Wilson. I think he was chairman of the Men's Auxiliary, president of the Men's Auxiliary, along with some other men, came over to me and insisted that the project could not start and would they needed clarification from the project. That's how the stalling of the project started. The technician packed all of his equipment and left the site. And the next thing, I was invited to the bishop's office. I went along with committee members. Abel is on the show here. He was part of that meeting. And we told the bishop that where the bishop broke grounds, because the place that was provided by the St. Peter's Lutheran Church, the bishop officially broke grounds for the start of the project on that Sunday. The vice president of Liberia, the current vice president, our sister Joekai Howard Taylor, was also part of the groundbreaking, along with several prominent Lutherans. They were part of the groundbreaking ceremony. The expectations were high. Lutherans, had high expectations for the project. They were certain that it was going to work. We even did a demo. Of how broadcasts would be on the station. It was splendidly done in the church during the launch of the program. We all acted as journalists in the studio, discussing matters of the church. And it was so interesting. It was like Luther FM was just already a reality. That's the extent to which we went.
I want to jump in quickly. Sorry for cutting you off. I want to jump in quickly. So if all of those dots were connected, the project was launched. Groundbreaking ceremony took place.
Yes.
By our Lord Bishop.
Yes.
The Bishop Jason Siankolo.
Yes.
The current Vice President, Honorable Madam Chief Joekai Howard Taylor, was present at St. Peter's. I want to believe St. Peter had a representative during that groundbreaking ceremony.
Oh, let me just speak to that a little bit. I don't even want you to go further.
Okay, then go ahead.
The leadership of St. Peter's was present, and even Peter Nair Wilson also held a shovel and broke ground and showed Lutherans that the radio station was going to be constructed there. We have the photos. I don't want to lose.
I will give you the chance. I will give you the chance because I have photograph of that. I have photograph of that, of the groundbreaking ceremony. I have photographs. Okay. St. Peter Lutheran Church was there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened?
What happened
when everyone, all of the stakeholders, all of those who should be part of the process to make sure that this Luther FM kicks on, get into full swing. At the 11th hour, I will say, what happened? Something must have happened. What happened?
You cannot emphasize the question more than that, Willie. You've done the emphasis a lot, yeah, and it's appreciated. Look, the groundbreaking ceremony took place. The bishop broke ground. The current vice president of Liberia, our sister Joekai Taylor, joined the bishop to break grounds. A lot of dignitaries were there. In fact, I just forgot another prominent member of the committee was a prominent citizen of the country, Aaron Colley, a media expert. He was part of the committee. That's how talented the committee was. The structure of the committee, was just something you couldn't beat. And it was something that the Lutherans trusted, given the caliber of people on the project in terms of commitment, their expertise in different facets, so there was great assurance that the project was going to happen. But our disappointment came when I did the announcement officially on that fateful Sunday, and the Wednesday following, we had a sample at the same spot, and the technician was ready to start the erection of the tower. And I'm saying frustratingly that the team of men from St. Peter's, I'm saying men, I'm not even talking about the entire leadership of St. Peter's, but the men's department, as I could remember, they all came and said to me in my capacity as chairman that the project could not continue and that they needed clarifications. And a follow-up was an invitation to go to the bishop office to talk about the project. I was shocked. I was surprised. In fact, at one point, I said we've reached a point that I didn't have to go for any clarification because the entire church was on board regarding this. There were no reservations expressed during the formulation, of the document, the information, and everything about the project, the setting up of the committee, and everything. There were no reservation. This was just a win-win thing for the LCL. So at the point in time, like you said, if I may borrow your words exactly, the 11th hour, that they could come seeking clarification. Then I went to that meeting along with Abel Lewali, who is on here, a very resourceful Abel Lewali. He was very helpful, like Samuel Dapple and the others on our committee. We went to the bishop's office, and the bishop referred the matter to his assistant. Abel was that? Yes, his assistant, Reverend Isaac Dua, to take on from there. When Isaac Dua was given responsibility to do that, I received another information that St. Peter wanted clarification as far as their role in the whole project was concerned. This is something that I also detested. I didn't even want to go into that because I knew they were out to stall the project. And my colleagues on the committee said, hey, Joe, let's cooperate. Pastor McKay and everybody advised me, let's cooperate and negotiate with you guys. Let's talk to them. So I said, okay, we need a representative from St. Peter's because we can't be talking to invisible people. We need somebody to be physical to talk to us who will tell us what St. Peter's interest is, And so they appointed Amos Smith, Amos Smith. And Amos Smith came to us. We lay out everything about the project, everything that's supposed to happen. And Amos Smith promised to come back to us after talking to the people in the church. As I speak to you, Amos Smith has never come back to the committee in that capacity as the negotiator of the whoever it was at St. Peter's to face the committee to tell us the St. Peter's interest. But the project was stalled to the extent that we even floated the idea that we can even set up the radio station at the Titan Street office. No one was interested in that. Nobody was interested. So
Joe.
When we got to the financial aspect, I said, hey, I'm chair of the committee, but usually I don't talk financial matters because you have a pastor, the dean of Monrovia District, who is in charge of the finances of the committee and works with the bishop. And the money was in Monrovia District's account. And the person who managed this Monrovia District account was also managing the project fund along the pastor. I also have trust and great deal of respect. And so anything happening to the finances, I'm sure the bishop was aware. The leadership of the LCL was aware. Probably that is why you have not heard anything from the leadership of the LCL, because they were aware. Otherwise, by now, probably I was supposed to receive a communication from them to that respect, asking about finances of the project. So that's how the project was stalled. And the failure of the bishop to intervene still beats my imagination to this point. The failure of the bishop's assistant to intervene, to come up with something conclusive, a decision, an alternative site for the establishment of the project tells me that the leadership was being deceptive in expressing her interest in establishing a communication system in the LCL. So that was my regret in the first place, why I even accepted to hear that when the leadership was not ready.
So a quick follow up. Mr. Chairman, because I assume that you are still the chairman of that committee or that project. Mr. Chairman or Mr. Joekai, is it late for a Luther FM, an LCL Luther FM, Luther radio? Is it late?
I would say
just to follow up, William. Joe, just to
Mhm.
follow up with the question that William asked. I was
Mhm.
just about to ask the same question. Now that there were too many bureaucratic necks that kind of choke and suppress the forward movement of this race system,
Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Yes, we just got to know that there are just too many things that the SEO doesn't have. Take for instance, issue a website, for example, that you just talk about. Issue a Twitter, digging in, functional Facebook page, and all of those things. My question, Joe, is what can we do at this movement as Lutherans? What can we do now in trying to kind of rescue the situation, in helping the SEO to move forward with all of these technologies and the development so that the SEO will be in line to flow along with information technology. So in that way, we have the developmental initiative of our church being more vibrant. What is the way forward?
Look, I'll tell you the truth. St. Peter's at 50, our Golden Jubilee, I will begin with that to better answer the question. St. Peter's at 50. But then it was Pastor P. It was Pastor P who was the pastor in charge when St. Peter turned 50. For her Golden Jubilee, Pastor P appointed me as chairman of the Golden Jubilee Committee. And it was out of innovation that we succeeded. I crafted a 23-page concept paper on the celebration of our Golden Jubilee because we celebrated for 7 days. And what happened on each day was well captured in that concept paper. The church accepted. The two major projects were to buy standing units, cooling system in St. Peter's, 6 of them, and to install a 45 kVA generator. When I carved that document, there were pessimists in St. Peter's who said that it was too huge, it was elaborate, and we couldn't raise the money to buy the 45 kVA generator. You're talking about somewhere around $15,000, $16,000 United States dollars. The standing units, you're talking about $3,000 each to buy them. Where could we raise the money from? And it was out of innovation and creativity. We raised the money before our Golden Jubilee service on Sunday. We installed more than half of the standing units. We installed the 45 kVA generator. I'm proud that I was associated with that achievement, that I led, the implementation of that project. I'm giving you that example to tell you that, Abel, there are so many Lutherans who are successful, like I was successful in our project. Look at you here. Look at you sitting here. You've ran projects in our church. You've succeeded. Everyone in the Lutheran church. Now we have a pool of talents in the church. Experienced people. Why are we here today? This is not Jensen Bishop Siangolo's dream to be here, my Lutheran connection. No, this is not the Secretary General's dream. This is just coming from members of the church, few members of the church that decided for us to have this platform. We can undertake initiative if the leadership is not ready, if the leadership is not willing, because the leadership has to be willing. You need that willingness from the leadership to work with the laity in the church. They can have all the experience, everything that is required to make our social media presence strong, to have us institute a powerful information technology system in the church. The church, the leadership, we have to take the initiative The leadership will have to be able to bring people on board. The leadership knows already the talented people with their different expertise and know how to use them, how to juggle them to do that. We can succeed. A classic example is the Golden Jubilee celebration at St. Peter's I just mentioned. 610 units is not small thing, times that by 3,000 each. That's 18,000 plus 16,000 Perkins generator, 45 kVA. We install it. So imagine at that time, I was the chair at that time. It was out of innovation and creativity that we succeeded. Pastor Pay saw something in me, I'm sure, to appoint me to serve at that level with all the talented people in St. Peter's and everything. I'm sure it was something that he saw leadership and I deliver. So our failure to establish the Luther FM was not about competency, was not about capabilities, was not about ability. You know, it was about a leadership failure. It was about the failure of the Ciangolo's leadership to be able to intervene and take a decision. You know, I don't know why. I don't know what was responsible for that. I don't know what was responsible for any. I'm twisting if ever it happened, you know. But what I wanted to see was a radio station that would promise the people, a radio station that was integrated, you know, with information technology, you know, that would work well for the church to meet Jesus of preaching and healing.
Thank you so much, Brother Joekai. Mr. Joekai, we have a question from the comment chat group. I'm just going to post it right here for you to see that. This is a question here from Pet Incorporated. Says, what the total and where is the current amount? I know you spoke about this, but if you can just just respond to this viewer question. Then also we want to inform the viewers that at the bottom of the page, you can see the banner, you can see all the numbers there to call. Even though we started late, we're gonna give ample time for people to call in.
Hello. Yep. That is my Lutheran Connections. Yeah, hello. Welcome to my Lutheran Connections. Okay, Nuo, go on with your point.
I think you have to carry your phone next to your microphone. Carry the phone next to your microphone so we can hear it.
Nuo, come again.
Come on the platform and explain to us what happened to the funds that were deposited in those accounts. For example, the common moral district team was a signatory to the account. The original series or series. The associate team there was Marquis of Security, and the treasurer was Marquis of Security also. So, you know, come on what happened to the book. And as you know, you guys said, the is in the role of the extent that was not possible, and that is our point, and explain to us.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Nuo. Well, before you continue with the conversation you are on, I received a lot of messages on my phone. I just want to quickly flag some of them out while we're continuing with this conversation. People are interested to know. Somebody they say, oh, Wele Kobo is on the position of Reverend Moses Goba, but I think from the very initial stage, we said this platform that we are inaugurating today is not about the Reverend Moses Goba. This is a Lutheran platform. Just to quickly let you know, next week, Saturday, we will have with us here the president of the National Lutheran Fellowship, along with the general secretary, and that of our sister, Sis Nelly Bian from the United States. And they will be talking about the development at Kenkepi. You know, we are moving towards camp again. Hopefully in December, our kids will be gathering in their numbers, in their hundreds at Kenkepi. they need a lot of support from us. So we invited the president and that of Nelly from the diaspora who will be here speaking. And then on the 5th of December, we will also have the Reverend Moses Goba here, who is one of the aspirants of the bishopric elections in April. Reverend Goba will appear on this talk show to flag out his vision for the Lutheran Church in Liberia. We are currently discussing with the Reverend Ire Allison, who's supposed to come after the Reverend Goba. We haven't heard from him yet. Maybe he will consult with us. And we are going to invite all of our Lutheran bishops as parents. We will invite Reverend Orita Miller Davis in the studio. We will invite the Reverend Victor Pamo in the studio. We are going to invite the Reverend Mora Zeze and that of Janice Gono in the studio to flag up their visions for the church. And at some point, we're going to interface them into a national debate. So those are some of the development, my friend, folks. We are here for you. There is a general platform, and it is for all Lutherans. So thank you ever so much. We'll go back to you, Joe.
That's very important. There's a question from Ped. I don't know, PED. The question asking about the total amount. I'm sure it's the amount generated. That's what he's talking about. Is that a question? Does this refer to the radio station?
I guess it is, Joe. I think it's talking about the total amount that was generated during the launch of the program.
Yes, I think what I recall is that I just, while we're discussing, I sent message to a colleague of mine to share. I think what we raised was 134,000 Liberian dollars, and then 2,350 United States dollars. And those amounts were deposited into the district's account that I made reference to.
All right, Sam, brother, I think you're on
mute. Thank you for the clarity. So we get back to you, Willie. You were in speech, and then I had to interrupt with this question.
No, so anyway, I was just reflecting the question from one of our viewers. He was asking, like, what was the total amount and where is the amount, currently. But I also follow some of the comments from the group chat, from one of our brothers in the group chat. He was expressing his concern that we will, that for now we're going to, focus on our guest and the topic for today. But by the end of the show, then we will respond to that. And again, our viewing audience and our, those that are listening in and are viewing, if you want to participate in the program, we have our numbers down the bottom of the screen. You can call in, and also you can send your comments on the Facebook chat. Again, we want to say thank you very much to our guest, Mr. Josiah Joekai, for providing all of the vital information. And we see this, like you said, it is very, very important that the church embrace this idea of information technology and use, try to tap into the possibilities, that our church can be, in touch with the larger world. Before then, where people used to use this telegrams and fax and everything, but nowadays things are changing. Our bishop visited the very first time I met him. We were in Minnesota, and he brought a very great project. He presented a very great project. That is the Just 50. But again, reaching to a larger audience, you need to use the tools that are available, digital technology, information technology, because this is the thing that you can write a flyer and everything and just keep it or carry it to, before how we used to go and put the flyer at the church doorpost, how Martin Luther did. He put it on the church doorpost. But that was more than 500 years ago. Okay, that's more than 500 years ago. So I think it is important, like the point you mentioned, all of the information you just provided, it is important that our church see reason to tap into all of this, all of the resources that we have, and once we can do that, we can try to be on par with our ecumenical brothers and sisters. Like you spoke of a Twitter hanger or even a blog. The bishop of the ELCA, Bishop Elizabeth Eaton, or even the bishop of my Senate, the Delaware Maryland Senate, Bishop William Gore, he has a Twitter account. He has a Facebook page. Okay. And he has he's using all of these social media outlets to reach out to the people. And I think our church is of no exception. And again, I want to say thank you very much for the information provided this evening. I mean, very much vital. And again, we can stress this more that
Willie, let me just interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, trust me, it doesn't make any sense for the bishop of the Lutheran Church to preach and then we take a copy of his sermon to the Adventist radio to air it. We take a copy of his sermon to the Methodist Church to air for other Lutherans to hear. It doesn't make sense when we are very old from 1860 that the bishop wants to communicate. He has a memo. That memo has to be shipped to parishes. It doesn't make sense. It's just sensible for us to put in place a system where the bishop can communicate, the bishop and other leaders and church members can interact, instantly. It is very effective. It contributes to growth significantly. It contributes to development significantly. It makes you to make accomplishments, to achieve instantly, on demand. You can achieve on demand. Distance wouldn't matter by any measure. So how sensible is that for our bishop and the leaders of the church to be using the media platforms of other churches? And the part that hurts me most is some of these mushrooming churches, having media institutions, effective media institutions communicating to their members, their followers, winning souls through their broadcasts, through their social media presence. They're doing that. And we're lagging behind. We're lagging behind. It's just basically a leadership failure in that respect when it comes to, I don't know about other spheres of the leadership function, but when it comes to communication and effectively engaging with Lutherans, I think the leadership is out of touch. I can say that without mincing my words. And I tell you the truth, this will only work when you have a set of leaders who are committed to making it work. Because your concern should not be about the expertise. You have people with the expertise who are also willing to put in their resources. Man, really, nobody pay you for the time that you took to put this together. You did not consult anybody to do this. You saw the need that your church needs it, that there has to be a platform that brings together the members of the church, brings together Lutherans to talk about Lutheranism, to talk about our faith, to talk about the services that we provide. We are one of the largest faith-based educational institutions in our country, providing educational services to the sons and daughters of that country. It's just unfortunate that we are not able to showcase the significance of what we are doing. We're not able to talk about the educational services we're providing in a way that it goes global. It goes national and goes global. We are not able to talk about the healthcare services we are providing in a way that it goes national, it goes global. We are not able to talk about the programs that we are providing to the physical challenge, the trauma healing program that we are providing. We don't have platforms to be able to inform the Liberian people in general and the world about the beautiful work that we are doing as a church. We don't have platform to amplify this message. We don't have
I just want to come in quickly to that. Like when you mentioned, that using other ecumenical or partners platforms, right? It actually it was. I mean, sorry about use this word. It was saddening when I saw 3 Lutheran pastors during the heat of the pandemic in Truth FN studio passing hair from trying it from one person to another. You're talking about 6 feet apart. You're talking about a virus that can spread, from the air, from droplets, and other things like that. Okay, and I mean, this shows you that that is a greater need. There is a greater need for this. But again, I want to come back to the questions that we have. I want to ask this question. That the question I have here is this: what can the church learn? What can the church learn from the mistake that happened, and what can it do better? Like you said, if I think I got you right, and I stand to be corrected, you inform us that it is not late. But what can the church learn? Having had a conversation with St. Peter's, I want to believe they had a conversation with St. Peter's Administrative Council, which of course the Administrative Council, includes the men, women, youth representatives, and everyone on the Administrative Council. The Administrative Council gave a go-ahead. Okay, the Administrative Council had representatives during the groundbreaking ceremony. What can the church learn? What can the church learn from that? From what had happened with the St. Peter saga? And what can we do better if we want to go back to this project?
Look, I told you the entire thing broke down because of leadership failure. That's the first thing, and it should be acknowledged. Look, we are all follower of Christ. We are Christians.
Thank you, Willen. Thank you, Willen. Before Joe jump into that question.
Sorry, I think Abel having a little bit there's some network issue from back home.
He got some challenges.
Yeah, some network challenges from back home. Yeah, but you can go ahead.
Let me just go on to say that, hey,
Joe, are you there?
It's never too late. I'm here, Abel. Abel, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Abel, but I think you're having some
hello, Joe, are you there?
Challenge with network.
Yeah, are you getting me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
Are you getting me?
Yes. We are hearing
you. Yes, I'm hearing you, Joe. Can you get me?
Okay, so basically the point
the
point I was making was that it's not late. I've said this with emphasis. It's not late. The only thing that
I think today network seems to be a little bit doubting very much. I try to navigate myself between between here and there. Just to quickly move on, time is fast spent. I think we should be able to wrap up in the next 5 minutes with this show. There's a question here from Pet Incorporator, and he says,
right. I think Abel is having some challenges. Whether you can take care of that.
Yes. I would just put the question on the screen, then you can just add both of them together.
Yes, communication effectively in rural areas. Yeah, I got it. So as I spoke to the traditional aspect initially, I'm sure by then Per was not listening. And I said, what good will it be if your tradition prevents you from evangelizing and winning souls for Christ? What good will it be? Because you won't be able to fulfill Christ's mission, of winning souls for Christ, or evangelizing, or spreading the word, preaching the word. So make use of technology. People in those places have radio stations. There are rural radio stations. So they can broadcast from a central LCL radio station and simulcast on radio stations. It's possible. There are also pastors and other people in those places who have access to technology, to devices that can transmit, that can receive information. You can use that. So that, in my opinion, cannot be an excuse for us not to give the people access to information in rural areas. I think we can do it effectively. The world is now a global village. It's now a global village. It's a small place where we are able to do everything anytime on demand. We have access using information technology, using social media and social networking. We are capable of doing it. Why is it that we stay here in the US and talk to people in Zos or talk to people in Pony, in Vonjama, in Kolahon? We do those things. The LCL can do that right from Monrovia. But like I said, the willingness and the commitment has to be there. And that brings me to the question, the last question that Wole asked about whether or not it's late. And if we can still achieve this. Yes, it's possible we can achieve it. It's not late at all. But like I said, fundamentally, you will need a leadership that is committed to initiating the process. Take, for example, where you have started Malnutrition Connections discussions that we're having right now, that we're inaugurating today. The church can seize on this opportunity to be able to expand it in a way that we can have a broad-based network that can benefit everybody in all facets of the church. It's possible. But is the leadership looking at it from that perspective? Or is the leadership is stuck in old system or old ways of thinking and doing things? The leadership got to get out of the box to be able to succeed in having an effective communication system in place for Lutherans to get together better. It's possible, but they have to be willing to initiate it. Look, I'm telling you, you have Lutherans with the expertise. There's no question about that. You have Lutherans with the resources. There's no question about that. They are prepared to do it, but they only need their leadership, to give them the go ahead and for people to have the responsibility to initiate and carry out.
Thank you, thank you very much, Mr. Joekai. Again, I want to say thank you very, very much for being our inaugural guest. I know that this conversation we can even go for the next, the next hour or two. This is a conversation of interest from a whole lot of other Liberian Lutherans and including Lutherans in the diaspora. Again, want to say, again, thank you for joining us, and we're going to give you this time for your departing comments. And the platform is available to you at any time. If there are other issues that you want us to discuss, just let us know, and we can certainly invite you again so we can discuss it.
Absolutely. I'm so glad. Like I said from the outset, I'm exceptionally grateful for the invite. I think I'm a special person because I'm the guest. I'm the first person. This is historic for me, and it will go down that when you establish this platform, the first person you invited, was Joekai, and this is recorded, so it's very good. I'm sure a lot of people are going to follow after the program. I appreciate it. I'm willing. I'm open anytime. Just let me know. And if you even want me to come on to join you in interviewing a guest as a co-host, you can bring me on. I'm willing to do that anytime. Don't hesitate. In any capacity you want me to serve, I am ready to do it once it's the Lutheran Church. We may have our differences, we may have issues, but the LCL is our common denominator in which we all faith. And we should be able to push the church forward by our attitudes, the things we do, the way we do them, the way we engage with each other. We can only improve that by undertaking these kinds of projects that will bring us together more as a family, because that's Christ's purpose for our lives. So thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you again so much. Thank you, Brother Joekai. And again, want to say, greet your family for us. Extend our heartfelt condolences to the entire Joekai family. And we want to say thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, brothers and sisters in media land. That was Brother Josiah Joekai, and he was discussing with us the importance of digital technology in our service today. Um, Again, we want to apologize that we had some technical difficulties from the very beginning, but we do appreciate the fact that you stood around with us. Um, Mr. Lewally, how do you look at our inaugural program, our inaugural podcast?
Well, it was great. You know, technologies is something that is not always certain, but it's very good. It's possible it can happen. Tonight I've had a lot of difficulties, beginning with my computers at some point, and then eventually my internet continued to fluctuate back and forward. But I think the purpose were met. I mean, the purpose for which we invited Mr. Josiah Joekai was met. And this is a very good beginning. Beginning from here, we'll be moving forward with this. Um, the further we go, the better it becomes. And trust me, I know Lutherans are very glad that they are able to listen, so they are kind to push for some of the points. So, well, it was a pleasure tonight. And as I regularly said, next week we'll be having conversation with the Lutheran youth, and then the following week we'll be having the Reverend Moses over here, and we have a couple of programs lined up during the week as well. So yes, say what's up to all of my listening audience, and it's a pleasure being here tonight. Thank you so much, Willie, for hosting this program.
Again, I want to say thank you so much. I too am also excited. That's the least word that I can use. And I cannot wait for next week because the youth camp is right around the corner, and there's no one, you know, best in that position who can speak about the upcoming youth camp other than the president himself, President George Mulba of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship, and also our sister Nelly Bien Olabi. She is heading a fundraising process up here in the U.S. To support the camp. So we're going to be having the leadership of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship and our own big sister, Sister Nelly Olabi. She will be here next Sunday. So quickly, before we can just wrap up this evening, I just want to inform everyone and for the record that the My Lutheran Connection platform, this podcast platform, does not belong to anyone specific. Specifically, it doesn't belong to Reverend Goba, not a Reverend Allison, not a Reverend Reverend Zizi, Molba Zizi, not a Reverend Jennings Gono, not a Bishop Jensen Siankolo, not a Reverend Orita Davis, Reverend Padmo. It does not belong to anyone specifically. This is a platform for all Lutherans, all Lutherans. So again, as we mentioned during our test broadcast, we said that we are going to be we're going to be having guests from all over. So if some people are still thinking that this is something, something like a breeze, I would say, or some dust that is sitting somewhere is going to be swept away very shortly. No, you are getting it wrong. We've already boarded our flight and we are moving. We are moving. So please let us forget about all of the negativity, and then focus on how we can better our church. That's the key. Okay, that's the key. So if, for example, sister Nenswa Livingston, who is a Lutheran and she's running this great humanitarian program, if she has something to discuss, we're going to invite her to come and discuss. If, for example, the bishop of the Delaware Maryland Synod has something to discuss about Advent, we're going to invite him to come and discuss. So let us all, come together as Lutherans and focus on, fostering unity and peace among ourselves as we serve our Lord Jesus Christ, as we serve God. This is not about politics. We can discuss politics as individuals. Every person has his or her area of interest or candidate of interest. So, if I have a candidate of interest, I mean, I don't think I've committed a crime. But when we come to this platform, the Man Lutheran Connection platform, this podcast, it is bigger. It's far bigger than anyone. It's far bigger than myself sitting here. So again, we want to say thank you very much to all of our viewing audience, and we want to say God bless you all. We pray that you have a blessed week, and please join us next Sunday at 3 p.m. By God's grace, we're going to try to make sure that things are in order. By next Sunday, we're going to be having the officials of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship and our own big sister, Sister Nelly S. Bien Olade. With that, we want to say thank you very much and hope you have a great and wonderful week.